Welcome to another episode of Erik Wait Whiskey Studies, and I'm currently doing a series on Texas distilleries that I visited in September 2019. I visited 3 distilleries in the San Antonio area, and then went up to Austin and visited a bunch up there as well. My first stop was at Andalusia Distillery, and it just so happened that when I arrived there, they were celebrating their 3rd anniversary. I was able to meet up with Ty Phelps, the head distiller, who I also was able to do an interview with, and a couple of videos from now you'll be able to see my interview with him. We had a very in-depth, sort of geeky discussion about Texas whiskeys. Also met up with Daniel Whittington of the Vault and the Credit Barrel, the Galladay from Texas Whiskey Life, and a whole bunch of other people there. It was really an absolutely fantastic time. So while I was there, I was able to pick up this bottle of the Stryker smoked single malt whiskey, this bottle of Revenant Oak peated single malt whiskey, and I was able to bottle for myself the single cask. This is a Stryker smoked single malt whiskey bottled at 123.94 proof. This is barrel 109. So I'll share with you my photos and video of my tour around the distillery and bottling this whiskey and my notes on the Stryker. Andalusia Distillery is a family business that was founded by Tommy Irwin and Ty Phelps, who met while working at Real Ale Brewing Company. The name Andalusia is derived from an old map which indicated that the land of the distillery was once called Andalusia Ranches. Water for the distillery is sourced from a 56,000-gallon rainwater collection tank, and the distillery is a zero-waste facility. The spent grain that is left over from the mashing process, is fed to Ty's livestock that surround the distillery, including sheep, cattle, chickens, and a llama named Dolly. Stryker adopts the Scottish tradition of smoking malted barley that is destined to be used in their signature Islay scotches. Rather than burning peat, however, Stryker is mashed from malted barley that has been smoked in the Texas barbecue tradition with oak, mesquite, and apple woods. It is bottled at 50% alcohol by volume or 100 proof and retails for about $50 in the United States. Alrighty, so visually, super dark. There's no added coloring. There's no filtering. It's sort of a bronze copper color with a slight tinge, almost like a color of root beer on the nose. It's a smoky whiskey, but it doesn't have, if you think of Islay, it doesn't have the oceanic character, it doesn't have the medicinal character, it doesn't have that sort of briny character to it. It's more like a backyard barbecue, or if you've ever gone camping and you're hanging around the campfire and you've got maybe doing some hot dogs over the barbecue or some marshmallows or something like that, and the smoke from hanging around the fire kind of gets under your clothes, maybe it gets into your beard if you have a beard. And then later on when you leave the campfire and you smell your clothes, you can still smell that campfire on you. That's what this like. It's very much a campfire smoke. It also has a lot of spice to it. Cinnamon, vanilla, dark caramels. There's a fresh coffee note. There's a spiced barbecue rub. So when I do a barbecue rub, I use a kosher salt, brown sugar, and then tons of herbs and spices. I kind of get that note there as well. So it has some savory character to it. It has almost like an incense note to it that reminds me a little bit of Mizunara. So if you're familiar with some of the heavy Mizunara aged Japanese whiskeys, you get that character to there as well. Really, really complex. A lot of herbs and spices on the palate. Wow. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you probably heard me say this 100 times. You never judge a bottle by neck pour. I first tasted Stryker from a little sample that Matt from Whiskey Crusaders gave me. He gave me a box of little minis. And when I tasted this from, a little bottle sample, I liked it, but it didn't wow me. When I had my first sample of this from the neck pour, I liked it, but it didn't wow me. Now that I've been getting past the neck pour, getting down into the shoulder, and the way it's opening up, it's really showing itself really differently. Now, obviously, Matt's bottle had been open and a little sample, it had had time to spend some time in air. What's the difference between having that little sample, having a neck pour, and now getting it past the shoulders? I don't know. All I know is I like it a lot more now at this point than when I originally did. It seems more complex. Maybe there's a possibility with putting it into a little sample bottle that maybe it become oxidized. I don't know. I'm not sure. But right now it seems fresher. So in the wintertime, if I want a hot beverage, but I don't want to drink coffee at night because I don't want the caffeine, I'll take unfiltered apple cider and then take an apple spiced tea bag and I'll put it in the cider. So you get it's unfiltered apple cider. You get apple to it, but it's a lot more, seems like natural. And then the spices and stuff coming from the apple cinnamon tea bag that as it infuses in with the apple cider, I kind of get that character as well. Sort of an herbal spicy note mixed in with apple cider. A little bit of sweetness. Really nice development. Really complex. It's 50 ABV or 100 proof. It's silky or smooth. Doesn't have a huge bite. And yet, if you try this on ice, you want to just drop the temperature on it. It works really, really well. And if you're down in Texas drinking whiskey in the summertime, you're definitely going to want to put it on ice. It does fine on ice. It's fine, neat. An ice cube won't kill it, so you can enjoy it either way. And yet, it's high enough ABV that it still has a nice, good punch of flavor, and yet you don't feel like you have to tinker with it with water. So it's really sort of, I think, at an ideal spot as is, but it's still got enough oomph to, if you want to play around with it, you can play around with it. What lingers is a lot of spice, herbs, caramels, a little bit of sweetness, and the finish is super, super long. I could probably stand here talking for the next 15 minutes, and I'm still gonna taste it. I like the fact that it doesn't have a huge tingle and bite. I like that it has plenty of flavor. I like the complexity to it. I like that it has a lot of development from the front to the middle into the finish. I like that spice character to it. It's just really a fantastic whiskey, and yet it is very distinctive. It doesn't taste like a Scotch. It doesn't taste like a Kentucky whiskey. It's a very distinctive American single malt and absolutely fantastic. I'm loving this whiskey. I'm going to give this a solid 92 points, a solid 92 points. Now, I would like to jump into this cask strength, but I'm not going to do it during this Texas Whiskey Marathon. I'm going to save it for another occasion, perhaps after we get past this one, and perhaps also past the Revenant Oak, which I'll be reviewing in my next video. All right, if you subscribe to this channel, I want to thank you very much. If you haven't yet subscribed, but you like watching my videos, I would greatly appreciate it if you would subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up, and if you want to be notified when I go live, you're going to want to ring the bell, or when I post a new video. And if you have any comments, any questions, leave them down below. And you're going to want to continue to watch this series to learn more about Texas. The Texas whiskey industry is really in its early stages, and yet there's a lot going on there. But it's also challenging to get these because right now, super small production, all family owned and run. And so it's hard to get these out of Texas. They don't have enough production to do worldwide distribution. So highly recommend going to Texas or somehow getting your hands on a bottle because this is absolutely superb. All right, until next time, cheers. Hey, don't forget to subscribe and check out these other whiskey videos.